Good evening, good evening, good evening. Very excited to get back to you one more time. I trust that everyone had a fantastic and amazing day. I certainly had a good day today. We have a very interesting topic to go into tonight. And if you see the title of tonight's stream is called How You Carry Yourself Tells Men What You Think They Deserve. And I think that's a very fitting thing to talk about, because it's an area that most often goes untalked about, and I don't think a lot of thought is taken into account. I don't think a lot of things are taken into account when it comes to this particular subject. Excuse me one second. That's some crazy stuff. You know, the internet is nuts. So give me 1 second here. I certainly do apologize. Thank you for all of you who have participated in tonight's topic. And I certainly do appreciate your participation. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very needed conversation. Again, you see the topic. It says, how you carry yourself tells men what you think they deserve. When you start going into the idea of what men deserve, it's only fitting that you understand exactly what it may. It's only fitting that you understand what exactly that means. But because to not pay attention to that is not good. If everyone can hear my voice clearly in the comment section, what I need you to do is I need you to put a 1 in the comment box to let me know you hear me. Every time we come on, it's important that you hear me before we go into the comment. Awesome. And just put a 1 in the comment box to let me know that you can actually hear me clearly. That's very, very important. Put a 1 in the comment box if you can hear me. All right. Put a number 1 in the comment box if you can hear me. Okay, I'm assuming everybody can hear me because no one's putting a 1. All right. All right. Okay. Anyway, I'm super excited about this particular subject. It's a distressing subject. Why? Because it's a subject that goes often unchecked. I don't think enough attention is given to the subject. And again, repeating the subject, you see it in the title. How you carry yourself tells men what you think they deserve. And that's true, ladies. Your attitude, your behavior, how you carry yourself, whether you do your hair or not do your hair, how much attention you take to being fit, how much attention you take to being cooperative with your significant other or your husband. I mean, these things matter. These things matter, and they matter more to men than you even realize. It's important. Again, you heard me say in previous streams, how does he experience you being with you? And equally, it's as important is how does he see you when he sees you? Everybody who knows men knows that men are visual. We're visual creatures. What gets our attention is what we see. Okay? How much importance are you putting on what your man sees when he sees you? You know, it's more than just what you want to wear. It's more than what the dress you like, and it's more than just the shoes you like. I think it's important, and I think that you would think it is too, if you intend to be with the man of your choice, is that you understand what it is that he actually likes. Okay? And this is a serious situation in most households and in most situations where you have relationships and couples and married couples are concerned, because I don't think enough attention, like I said earlier, is given to that particular area of the relationship. One thing I can tell you, women know that when they first had an anticipation of a date, if you can go back into your memory bank and remember when you had that first date, you hadn't really been out with this guy, you liked him, you knew he liked you, you wanted to look your best, right? You made sure your hair was done. You made sure your nails were done if you were doing your nails. You made sure, and in fact, if you never did your nails, you got them done that day. If you never did your hair, you got it done that day. You may not have bought a new dress in 6 months to a year, and you found a way to get a new dress or borrow somebody's dress. Okay? Because why? What was the motivation behind that? That motivation was to be on your best, to let him see you at your best. Why? Because you knew then that first impressions were everything. You knew that how he saw you on that first date was going to mean the difference between him calling you again or not calling you again. Now, mind you, what he sees, even if it looks good to his eyes, your job is not done. You have to have the right attitude now. You have to have the right persona. You have to be pleasant to be around. So you can have on a really pretty dress and have on a really nice hairstyle, nice pair of shoes, but your attitude may not be as attractive as the clothes that you may have on. So he still may not call you back. So now let's fast forward that. Say that you were successful on the first date. You began speaking for long term. He liked what he saw. He liked the experience he had with you on that date. It led to date 2. It led to date 3. Ultimately, it led to an actual relationship. Then, ultimately, it led to an engagement. And then, ultimately, it may have led to marriage. Now, listen, I need you ladies to listen to me very carefully on what I'm going to say next. Because this is usually where, like in football, they fumble the ball. This is usually where ladies fumble the ball. After you're together in a long-term relationship, you've gotten past all the courtship. You've gotten past the engagement area. You've gotten past the euphoria of getting married, where all the family members are there and everybody's praising both of you, and you got confetti being thrown up in the air, and you're cutting cake and you're smushing it in each other's face. Okay, after that's all said and done, then you got your honeymoon. But after the honeymoon stage is over, and now you come back to real life, and the bills start coming in, and the concern as to whether you can even pay certain bills. You know, the old slogan of borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. You know what I'm saying? When the trials of life begin to hit you in that same relationship that just seemed so beautiful just a few months earlier, right? All of a sudden now, the same determination to keep him attracted to you begins to die. It doesn't seem as important any longer because, I mean, look, after all, you have him now, right? In your mind. You have him. We're married. He's here. He's not going anywhere. So you think in your mind. Why is that what happens in most relationships? And I'll tell you what happens over time. You begin to develop attitudes and behaviors based on the trials and tribulations of the relationship. And those trials and tribulations are supposed to happen. Relationships are not easy. It requires work. And it requires work that you cannot be lazy about. It requires work every single day of the relationship, every single month, every single week. You can never get so complacent, ladies, to believe that he has settled and planted his flag with you. And as a result, you don't have to now take stock of your attitude. You don't have to take stock of how you carry yourself. And you don't have to take stock of how he sees you when he does see you every single day he walks through that front door. You have to make that a priority, that he sees you just as attractive 5 years later as he saw you 5 years earlier. And you have to make sure he sees you just as attractive 20 years later as he saw you 20 years earlier, and so on. You get my point. Okay, now mind you, time, years does take a toll on all of our bodies. Absolutely, no question. And that's not what I'm saying. Of course you don't look the same way you looked the day you met him if you've been with him for 25 and 30 years. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, why did you stop taking care of the idea, and why did you not give enough priority to the idea that you didn't need to keep yourself attractive to him? I'm going to tell you something that you probably never considered. You are in competition. You are in competition even if you're married. You know why? Because if you find your man attractive, guess what, ladies? So does someone else. If you find your man handsome, guess what, ladies? So does someone else. And you're only one person. He's subject to be in the company of many different women. And guess what? He's not thinking about any of those other women unless you give him reason to think about those other women. I'm going to let it soak in just for a second. What would make him think about someone else? I'm going to let you think about that for a second. And I'm glad you asked, because this is what would make him think about someone else. When a man's nature is to be visual, he responds by what he sees. Ladies, you respond by what you feel. It's two entirely different creatures. Like I said in the earlier stream, we are not the same. Men respond by what they see, okay? And what they experience. What is his experience with you? Are you fit, feminine, cooperative, submissive? I know you don't like that word, but I'm going to clarify what that word really means, not what the world made you to believe it means. Are you inspirational? Do you inspire your man? Not by what you want to do, but by knowing what he wants to do and inspiring that. That equates to being on his program, not your program, his program. But you have to first know what his program is. And too often women have been told that they didn't need to be concerned about what a man wants. Hence, the results remain. We see it in every city. We see it in every town. We see it even in our own local areas. And what is it that we actually see? We see empty fingers on that left hand. We see women by themselves in the mall with bonnets on and pajamas and bedroom slippers. We see packs of women together in restaurants, sitting alone with no man present. We see them on the job. We see them walking home from work. Always women in groups, no man. All right? There's a reason for that. When they end up by themselves, what usually happens is everybody needs companionship, right? They go buy a dog. And if they don't buy a dog, they get a cat. And then some of us can remember in our local towns where we had the cat lady. Some of you probably remember that. I knew one. We all called her the cat lady. She had probably about 50 cats in her house. Can you believe what that house must have smelled like? Oh man. But she had 50 cats in her house. Think of it. What mistakes did she make along the lines of what I'm speaking on right now tonight in this stream? Okay, well, If statistics, I'm talking about facts, data, and statistics. If you don't believe me, go to blackdemographics.com. The statistics say that 1 in 4 women, black women in particular, will marry in a lifetime. That leaves 3 of the entire population that will die alone. Why does these things happen? It goes back to what women believe men deserve. And it happened in their early years, long before hot girl summer was over. It's when they got into a relationship and thought it was all about them. It's when they got into a relationship and didn't think that they had to be concerned about what their man wanted or what that man needed. And the whole idea and the notion of submitting to a man has become taboo in our community in particular, throughout the United States, but in our community in particular. And they've adopted this idea of feminism that tells them subconsciously and consciously, they act it out in their behavior, that they don't need a man. And why should I answer to one? I mean, after all, if I answer to a man, I must be giving up something of myself. Now, ladies, this is not good. This has not gotten women the right results. Oh, no. This has not gotten women the outcomes that they said they wanted. They can't get the men they wanted, and they can't keep the ones they have. Think of it. You have to get back to the old thinking of what relationships actually meant. What does it mean? What does it really mean? Not situationships, which a lot of women like to, in some proud way, post on their on their social media pages when someone asks them are they in a relationship. You know, they'll say, "Nah, I'm in a situationship," or here's the other one: it's complicated. But here's what they never say: that they're complicated. Not that it's complicated; they're complicated to be with. And therein lies the issue, and therein lies the problem. Are you attractive to your man when he comes home? If you're not living together, when you guys do come together, do you look attractive? Do you smell good? You would be surprised, ladies, just the scent coming from you will change the outcome in a big way. All right? You'll be happy to talk about it the next day, what that outcome will bring. Just smell good. Be pleasant. Smile. For God's sake, smile. And stop talking to your man as if you're talking to your female counterparts. That's not how he wants to talk to you. That's not how he wants to communicate with you. How you dress your body is equal to how you dress your mind. How is it that you carry yourself? Because however you carry yourself, you're carrying yourself, your attitude, and everything that goes along with it, internal and external, reflects what you believe your man deserves. And I'm going to tell you something, ladies. You want long-term peace? Or do you want to lose your relationships? I mean, the choice is yours. That's one thing I believe about feminism, is that I believe in a woman's right to choose. Because what it really meant in the beginning, it was a good thing. But it's morphed into this monster now. Like you heard me say on a previous stream, it's morphed into some ridiculous, perverted monster now. It's almost like a Frankenstein monster, you know? And now the monster's up and alive and walking around and breathing, and no one can stop it. That's what makes these talking points so important. My whole moniker is that we are better together than we are apart. We just are. Now, one thing about the things that I speak on, because most of our women run away from what's called accountability so badly, you know, If it took two of you to come together in a relationship, then it stands correct to say that it took both of you to break the relationship. And I'll tell you something else that you may not know. Men are not walking away from their relationships. 85% of all relationships, including divorces, are made and executed by women first. And I know the old adage and the old stereotype that black men are just out there having sex and making babies. Well, you know, that's another lie. See, we need to do the numbers. Facts, data, and statistics will debunk the theories. 54% of black men in this country are single and childless. Those numbers usurp those same percentages as it relates to women. There are more single women parents in this country than there are single men who are childless. What does that tell you? What are we doing, ladies, to sabotage our own relationships? Could it be your attitude? Could it be your attitude? Could it be that you don't care how you carry yourself anymore? Could it be that you don't care whether you're fit or not? Could that be it? You won't exercise. Could it be you're lazy? Could it be that? Could it be that you don't know what men want? Not even the one you have. Could it be that? Have you ever considered that you have a part to play and a position to hold and a goal and a role to play as it relates to the success of the relationship, equally as you expect him to have a role? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about that? Think about when you get a job or a position that you desire. Sadly enough, most women put more effort into getting the position and to getting themselves qualified and to present themselves in a way that will be presentable to that interview. They put more effort, more time, even to the point of spending thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, going into debt to get a degree or some form of education or skill just to be qualified for the job. Have you ever thought that you needed to be qualified to get the men that you say you want, or to keep the one that you already have? Something to think about. Men have standards also. And I know the world has taught women that only they have standards that needs to be paid attention to, and whatever a man wants, it's not important. All you need to do is show up. I had a sister say to me when I mentioned to her about what does she think she needs to bring to the table in a relationship. She had the audacity to say to me, "I am the table." See, that kind of thinking will keep you single. That kind of thinking will have you going to PetSmart buying a dog. That kind of thinking will have you in every pet store you can find just for companionship. But what you will find is there will be no man in sight. No man in sight. I think it's time, and I think it's time that these ideas and talking points be considered drastically, because, like I said earlier, the data, the facts, data, and statistics won't lie. 2 + 2 is still 4. It is. Last time I checked, 2 + 2 is still 4. And ladies, you're not going to make 2 + 2 equal 9 or 6 or 5. You're going to have to face the facts as they are written. The same way you want men to get their act together, guess what? You got a job to do too. Get your act together and get your attitude together, or find yourself by yourself. Or you'll find yourself with someone, but it'll be a one-night stand. And you know exactly what I'm getting to. You'll be somebody's bed partner. And you'll be a rotating bed partner at that. Nobody will keep you. Attitude is everything. Sex comes standard with every woman on the planet. Attitude, femininity, fit, cooperative and submissive, and willing to serve their man. You can really find it. You can really find it. That's why the numbers don't lie, ladies. That's why 1 in 4 will marry. Isn't that sad? And you're talking about the entire population. 1 in 4 will marry? Wow. Wow. That means the other three, their fate is sealed. And with the way things are going now, ladies, if you don't understand these talking points and begin to ask real questions, and that real question is, what do men want? What do men find attractive? Not what society told you is attractive to a man. No, ladies, we got to stop that. Not what society told you men are attracted to. No, ask men what they're attracted to. What men like, what men find attractive in a woman, what men want and willing to marry and stay with for a lifetime. Find out what that is. Not what the media told you, not what videos told you, not what movies told you, not what your single girlfriend told you, not what your single coworker told you. Stop listening to these women that don't have a man in the first place. Are you kidding me? That's like me asking a plumber how to do electrical work. Come on, common sense, ladies. Don't you want to change your outcomes? And some of you have daughters. Don't you want your daughter's outcomes to be different than yours? Even if you were a fool? Or do you want them to follow in your footsteps? Come on, ladies. The talking point has to be made. The questions have to be asked. You have to ask men what they want. Ask your husband. Ask your man that you're with right now. Ask him. What has his experience been like with you thus far? Ask him that. Ask him, is he satisfied with how you carry yourself? Is he satisfied with your level of femininity? Is he satisfied with your level of cooperation? Is he satisfied? Ask him. Ask him. Don't wait until tragedy takes place within your house to all of a sudden wonder what happened. Nothing happens in a vacuum, ladies. Everything happens for a reason. That reason is usually what no one wants to address. That's why we have a pandemic in our community. The black community in particular, but worldwide. Worldwide. Pay attention to television. Pay attention to the media. Pay attention to the narrative, the story that they're trying to sell to women all over the world to break up the family unit. Pay attention, ladies. Stop thinking television is just television. No, fiction mimics reality. Pay attention. Pay attention. If you love the husband or man that you're with right now, pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Red alert. Pay attention. Or you may find yourself sitting by yourself wondering what happened. What happened? It's so important, ladies. It's so important. The media is selling a narrative. Believe me, there's a money motivation behind it. There's a money motivation behind it. It sells to make you believe that being overweight is okay, and then blame someone who's against it and call them fat shaming. Well, that's hypocrisy. Especially when they won't, that's hypocrisy. And then they put out stats for BMIs telling you that your weight to height ratio should be this or should be that. So you see where the hypocrisy is. But we're not talking about those that choose to be heavyweight. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the ones that you're in relationship with now, or the ones who you desire to be in relationship with, ladies. Don't you want to be attractive to your man for a lifetime? For as long as you're physically able to do it? And if that's what you want, it's going to require one word. Or maybe two. Well, 3. Don't be lazy. You get the point. Don't be lazy. Put the fork down. Ladies, put the fork down. Put the spoon down. Exercise. Ladies, don't let your body go. Don't let your body go away. Have a desire to be the same attractive woman that you were when he met you. And if you weren't in shape when he met you, and give him something to be inspired by. By doing something different. Because you know what, ladies? I'm going to tell you something. The false narrative is that, well, men only want sex. Well, yeah. Give him something else, and he'll think about something else. Give him something else to inspire himself to, and he'll think about something else. You're not going to keep a man with sex in the first place. You might as well just forget that. You're not going to keep him with sex. It's going to take a whole lot more of the intangibles that you don't see to keep the men you have and the men you want. A whole lot more intangibles. Keep this at the front of your mind. Every time you step out, I don't care if you step out to your car, ladies. Don't say, well, I was just going to take the garbage out. No. If you got a man, you shouldn't even be taking the garbage out in the first place. Let's just get that out of the way. Yeah. And don't say I was just going to the store. It was right down the street, and you go outside with rollers in your hair and a bonnet on your head and your pajamas on. Ladies, stop that, please. And stop wearing bedroom slippers outside. Stop it. Stop it. It's unattractive. It's unattractive. Men don't like it. I'm going to tell you right now. I talked to too many men. They don't like it. They don't find it attractive at all. Well, I know what you're saying. Well, what about the guys that go out in their pajamas and stuff? Well, we ain't talking about them. We ain't talking about them. They ain't got no sense either. We ain't talking about them. We're talking about you. We're talking about you and the men you want, the kind of men you want, and the men you have. That's what we're talking to. We ain't talking about them. We're talking about them. Because all they're doing, men that do that, they're perpetuating the bad image of black men in the first place. So I really don't have no room for them in my head or knowing my space in the first place. But right now we're talking to you, ladies. What do you want? What do you want your outcomes to be? What do you want your outcomes to be? I'm sure you want them to be favorable going forward into the future. And for those of you that are in relationships or married, I'm sure you don't want it to end. Well, I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know. Going forward, your attitude, behavior, and how you carry yourself and what you think your man deserves will prove whether you don't care or that you do. And I'll tell you something else. If you don't care, stop taking his money. Let's go there. If you don't care, stop taking his money. If he's working and you don't care, stop being a thief and taking his money. Yep, I said it. Yeah. Stop taking his money. Or change so that you can fix the situation you're in. Make yourself more attractive. Make yourself more desirable. Make yourself more enticing to him. Your husband should be excited every time he walks in that door because of a few things. Number one, not only because he's visual, guess what he's looking at when he walks in? I'm going to itemize it for you right now. When he walks in the door, because men are visual, the first thing he sees is when he walks through the first portion of the house, the front door. I want you to walk with me. Walk with me in your mind. He walks in. Who does he see? You. Hopefully presentable, attractive and beautiful, smelling good. That's step one. Then as he walks through, he sees the house smelling good. It's clean. Stop being lazy. It's clean, right? He smells the food scent coming through the house, you know? Oh, man. You setting yourself up, sis, if you do this. You setting yourself up. The house smells good. And then he sits down to a good meal. You bring him his plate because you want to serve your husband. And you bring him a plate, right? Put the fork there. He got his napkins going on, you know? He feeling like the king he is, and you're being the queen you are. And then he eats. He's full now. You know, itis starts to set in, which means he's getting a little sleepy. You ate along with him, and now you're getting a little sleepy. You know what happens when you get a little sleepy, right? You go to bed. Now your king and his queen are going to bed, and I can stop right there because the rest is X-rated. But you get the point. Don't you want that to last for a lifetime? Think of it. Or you just wanted to be a short stop drive through like McDonald's or Burger King, or, you know, or Taco Bell or something like that. If you want it to be a lifetime, it's going to take some work. It's going to take more than your attitude being toxic. It's going to take more than your mouth over talking your husband, over talking your man. You know what I mean by over talking. You listen to respond. He says something. You're over talking it. You didn't even catch the point he was making when he first started. You still talking, gums still bumping. You ain't hear nothing. Over talking your man. And I'm gonna tell you something, ladies. If you a woman that over talks a man is showing a low level of disrespect. And guys, if you're on the line, any man that's on this line, if you got a woman that's over talking you, she does not respect you. Yes, I said it. She does not respect you. When she hear your voice talking, she should stop if she respects you. What? I don't have a right to have a mind of my own. I hear you, sisters. I know y'all talking. I know some of y'all gonna say that. I don't have a right to have a mind of my own. Yeah, you do have a mind of your own, but your body and you as a woman should fit your husband like a tailored suit. If the seams are busting at his suit and the buttons are popping off his suit, you ain't fitting right. Got to get something together, sis. You got to get some attitude together. You got an attitude adjustment. And you have to stay in your feminine, not in your masculine. I'm going to say it again. A man wants a woman who's fit, feminine, not a feminist, a feminine woman, cooperative, inspirational, and submissive. I know you don't like that word, but do you know what submissive really means in the right positive denotation? Not the negative connotation that the world puts on the word. A submissive woman simply trusts her man. She trusts his wisdom. She trusts his guidance. She trusts him to not lead her in the wrong direction. Therefore, she can submit under what he says and his instructions and how he wants his house run. That is a submissive woman. I'm going to show you the opposite, a rebellious woman. You know what a rebellious woman is going to do? Oh, I can tell you what a rebellious woman is. I'm pretty sure you see it every day. She going to overtalk her man. She going to always have her opinion about everything he says, and it's going to be countering everything he said. She's going to have a passive-aggressive behavior towards the things that he actually wants. While it looks like she's listening to what he wants, she's going to be going in direct contradiction to what she know he wants. And then pretending that it wasn't her fault or she didn't know it, but she really did. Passive-aggressive behavior. That's a rebellious one. That's the opposite of the submissive one. Okay? When you get these kind of situations, guys, if you have this kind of situation, get out while the getting's good. If it's early in the game, get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. You know what happens in a toxic waste dump site? If you get any of those toxic materials on you, they burn through your skin. burn through your bone. You may not even survive it. So you may want to pay attention to the situation early, especially for those of you that are in early relationships. Listen, know what you're looking for. Know what you're looking for other than the bedroom. Other than the bedroom. And this is for my guys that are listening to this. Know what you're looking for other than the bedroom. Because a lot of these sisters, unfortunately, they're at their most feminine in that situation. And outside of that, completely masculine. Completely masculine. No man likes, nor is a man attracted to a masculine female. What do you mean by masculine? I'm glad you asked. A masculine female is a female who goes into talking all her talking points is about what she wants, never concerning herself about what you want. Again, like I said earlier, multiple times, over talking you. Argumentative. Turning mountains in, molehills into mountains. Taking small things and escalating it into almost nothing. Into something huge, unnecessary conversation, unnecessary arguments. Always having an alternate decision that opposes something that you asked. That's when you're in a bad situation, very bad situation. And I'll tell you something. I'm going to recap the title. Shout out to Legis Minder. Shout out to you, man. Glad you joined on with me, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to Margaret Burns. Shout out to Aaron. Aaron, good to see you, man. Glad you jumped in, man. Appreciate you. When you have shout out to Gail. Glad you jumped in. Abdul, glad you jumped in. Back to what I was saying. When you have these kind of situations, all right, it's better to understand what exactly you're dealing with early, very early. And I mean, you should recognize it early. And this is for my guys. You need to recognize it early before you bring children. Because now, if you wait to find out after you bring children, you have to deal with this toxic situation for the next 20-something years. Oh, yes, you do. So for those of you who are in current relationships right now, understand exactly what you're in. Ladies, do you dress and carry yourself the way you believe your man deserves? And if it's not good, then what do you think he deserves? If your attitude is not right, obviously you're saying to him that's what you believe he deserves. If you're not carrying yourself well, then what are you saying to him? You're saying to him that's what you believe he deserves. If you're over talking your man and showing a little level, no level, real high level of respect for him, you're telling him subconsciously and consciously that that's what you believe he deserves. If you're not making sure you smell good at all times for him, that means you're telling him that's what you believe he deserves. If you're not taking care of yourself and your body and keeping your shape in line with what he sees because he's a visual creature, you're telling him that's what you believe he deserves. If you're not doing your hair, you're telling him that's what you believe he deserves. If you're not cooking and serving him when he comes in that house, that you're telling him that's what you believe he deserves. If his house is not clean and he's paying bills in that house, you're telling him that's what you believe he deserves. If you're uncooperative, unpleasant to be around, you're telling him that's what you believe he deserves. And let me tell you something, ladies. Again, like I said in the beginning, you're in competition with the entire world that he has to go and battle. You want him to go out into the world and kill the fox and wrestle the bear and bring the meat home? You have a job to do. You have a job to do. You absolutely have a job to do. And it's not simply having sex. That's the least of your job. Your biggest job, you can't see it with the naked eye. It comes out through your personality, comes out through your attitude and your behavior. And it certainly comes out through how you dress. Well, that part you can see. but he needs to see that. Don't let your job be the excuse. He has one too. I go to work myself personally every single day, and I work hard. And I still come home, take a shower, eat my food, spend time with my family, and sit in front of this computer to give this kind of message because I understand how important it is. I don't go to work in a suit. I do this to make myself presentable for you guys so that I can get a message across as pleasant as possible. That's why I do it, because that's how important it is. You know, going forward, we want better results. Going forward, we want better outcomes. Going forward, we are better together than we are apart. And I always end that by saying we just are. You know, let's change our outcomes by changing our attitude. Let's change our outcomes by changing our behavior. Let's change our outcomes, ladies, by how you let your man see you every single time he sees you. Don't ever think that that's not important. You have 7 days out of a week. If you put on a uniform to go to work, ladies, that is your uniform at home. Making sure you have yourself presentable and that you look good, smell good, you know, sound good. Man, listen, you'll have that man outside thinking he can bench press the back of his car. You know, you'll have him doing handstands up the stairs and down the stairs if you do all these things I'm saying. Because all he does is go to work every day for you. But you got to give him something to strive for. You got to give him something to strive for. And that's the key. Don't ever take it for granted because you have your man. Don't ever take that for granted. Because if he's doing his part, you have to do yours. Thank you guys for jumping on this stream. I hope what I said helped. If some of you are experiencing some of these situations, and I hope it helped, and I hope it helps you prevent going to some of these situations if you see it now and it's early. If you see it now and it's early, for the guys that are in the stream, run. Tighten up your sneakers and run. And run fast. Don't even look back, just run. But if you're in a situation and you in a relationship and you've been in it for a while and you see these things, bring her to my stream so I can talk to her through my stream. Because I'm on this stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 8 p.m. Bring her. I'll be gentle, but let me talk to her. Because I'm able to say something through my stream that perhaps you may not be able to say. She may hear it from me, where she may not hear it from you. With that being said, salute to all my soldiers that jumped on. Legion, happy to see you, man, again. And let's just get better. We're better together than we are apart. We just are. Till next time, let's talk about it. Have a good night.